Since we're having so much fun with our stock take this week, I thought I'd continue our budget stocking up series and introduce you to Carlin peas. Now, people outside the UK may not have heard of these, and in fact people outside of the north of England may never have heard of these. And until I moved up here, and you know, I'm 52 and I've lived 30 odd years of my life in this country, I had never heard of these. Never heard of them. And I thought, you know what, it's time I learned something about them. Now, Carlin peas are really popular in the north. They're easy to grow. You can grow them vertically. People had them growing in their gardens and courtyards for decades. Even the poorest of the poor could grow Carlin peas in a pot outside their back door in the courtyard. They're that simple to grow. And were that popular, and still are, in parts of Lancashire and other parts of the north, where they produce a dish called parched peas, which hasn't actually changed much since the Middle Ages, where you get these, you soak them overnight, you cook them off in fresh water until they've made themselves a nice brown gravy and can go squish in your fingers, serve them up with butter and lashings of vinegar and salt. Nowadays, people tend to use these as a native alternative to chickpeas. Basically, anything you can do with a chickpea, you can do with Carlin pea. And, you know, it hasn't had to come from thousands of miles away to get here. Now, there aren't that many people growing these just yet, so the price is a little bit more than other things. However, it's still under £5 a kilo. And a kilo will get you a very long way. This is about 250 grams, because that's about as much as I've got left of mine right now. So I need to get more, but dried, they are £4.95 a kilo, but you can get them ready-made in a tin or ready to use in a tin for £2.30 for a 400 gram tin. Thing is though, these grow 4 to 5 times the size they are when they're soaked and cooked. Okay, a 400 gram tin will be less than 40 grams of dried seed. Okay, you're looking at about a 1/4 cup of seed in that tin. If you have them dry, you're going to use whatever you're going to use that works for you and your family, and you're going to get to learn how it flows, etc. The other thing with buying the dried legumes like this, or like dried peas, a secret, they're seeds. They'll grow. You know, get them in the ground, grow your own. You grow them at the same time as you would other peas. You know, poor families used to use these as an equivalent to growing sweet peas as fancy flowers in their garden. And then they would have the peas, and they would, instead of putting the flowers in vases, they would have the actual peas. So check out Carlin peas. Give them a go. As always, the macros are below in the description, and I will see you with another budget pantry staple tomorrow.